According to Daniel Richtman, Kang the Conqueror will make his MCU debut in the upcoming Loki series on Disney Plus.
I am Kang the Conqueror.
Holy f***ing shit. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel, and happy Marvel Monday to you if you're watching this on Monday. So this is pretty wild. It was actually quite surprising, pleasant to my eye holes. Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Kang the Conqueror is apparently coming in that Loki Disney Plus series, and what a perfect spot for him to be in. You'll remember a couple of weeks back for the big game, we broke down that trailer that Marvel did, teasing out all sorts of new Disney Plus properties. One of the things that they teased in that trailer was for the Loki series. And although there was not a lot of footage, the fact that the Time Variance Authority logo was on the prison uniform that Tom Hiddleston's Loki was wearing was very telling. The Time Variance Authority is going to play a big role in that Loki series, and we've been hearing more and more about what kind of a big role it will be playing. But the fact that it's going to be handling the Time Variance Authority automatically brought in some ideas that Kang the Conqueror could be a part of the show, as Kang, in one of his different iterations, was actually a member of the Time Variance Authority. And besides that, ever since time travel in general was introduced into the MCU, people wanted Kang the Conqueror to show up. There were even people that thought, or I guess more hoped, that Kang would show up in Avengers Endgame due to some weird time travel-y business that went on in Infinity War. Now quickly, let's do a TLDR for Kang. Kang is from the 31st century, and he's just a simple lad named Nathaniel Richards. Now, it's never clearly stated that he is a descendant of Reed Richards, but I mean, come on, he totally is. Otherwise, what's the point of him being named Nathaniel Richards? He finds some time travel technology that was first created by Dr. Doom and decides he wants to go back and make himself a pharaoh. Like, he's totally going to make himself a pharaoh. He's going to make Apocalypse his heir. He wants to totally change the histories and be the biggest, baddest dude out. But he gets whooped on by a time-displaced Fantastic Four, but then decides to go throughout time to formulate a big old army with a ton of different technology, and he conquers the future. Now, from here in the comic books, Kang shows up in all kinds of different Marvel stories during all sorts of different timelines in the Marvel comics. Like, there are a ton of different versions of him. He's always popping up here and there from the future to these different time periods. Now, one of these such versions is Iron Lad, who founds the Young Avengers. And the TLDR on Iron Lad is that he is a version that sees the future horrible douchey version of himself and decides, no, I don't want to be Kang the Conqueror. I want to be Kang the hero dude. And then he goes back in time after stealing some of his futuristic tech to become Iron Lad, and he forms the Young Avengers with their goal being to eventually defeat the Kang from the future. Now, we've heard a lot of stuff about the Young Avengers and how they are setting up those characters. They will likely have a Disney Plus show, and Marvel just frankly has plans for these characters. Too many of them are being introduced in too many different MCU properties for it all just to go nowhere. These are clearly pieces that are coming together, and they will form the Young Avengers. Now, Iron Lad has a very cool story, and the arc of him building the Young Avengers team and trying to defeat Kang actually goes to a really wild place. It has a totally tragic ending, which I won't spoil for you, but if handled properly, could be amazing and the perfect type of story for a Young Avengers Disney Plus show, because frankly, like, not a lot of people know about Young Avengers or are really into them, but the crux of the story with Iron Lad is a brilliant and tragic story that I think would get a lot of casual fans to check out the Young Avengers show. Now, it is important to mention here, all we know for sure is that Kang will be introduced in the Loki Disney Plus series, and even that could change, but I really don't think Daniel Richtman would be reporting on this unless he knew it was ironclad. So it could change, but likely Kang will be introduced in Disney Plus, and that is a big freaking deal. However, we have no idea what version of Kang we will see or what capacity Kang will be actually used in the show. I mean, I tend to think you don't introduce a character like Kang unless you're going to go big and really use him as sort of a main antagonist for a time travel type show, but that isn't out there. We have no idea how they plan to use Kang in the Loki series. So that's the official news, and I definitely want to know what you think about that, so let us know in the comment section, but we've got to get into speculation town because I've got a lot to say here. Now, I quickly want to put up this super chat that James Heaton gave us at the very end of the morning stream earlier today on the Den of Nerds Live. I literally stream live for an hour every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. If you didn't know that, like, you should know that. You should go over there and watch those streams because they're dope. But James Heaton's super chat came in at the very end of the stream. I actually completely missed it, but it's a very good question, applies here, so I wanted to put it up on the screen. James says, "Happy Marvel Monday, Josh. Love your channel. Keep up the amazing work. I was wondering, if they set up Kang in Loki, do you think they make him the big bad like Doom or Galactus, or a one-off like Ultron?" So again, thanks for the super chat, James. Thanks for the support. Guys, I'm totally with James here. I think I know exactly where his head is going. And look, I think Kang should be the main protagonist of the Loki series. I think that would be perfect. I also think that Kang should be a reoccurring villain that shows up at different moments in time throughout the rest of the MCU. I think he needs to be perfectly cast for his older warlord conquering self, but he also needs to be perfectly cast for the young version of himself that becomes Iron Lad for the Young Avengers. They better not one-shot him like they did Ultron, which, by the way, side note, I do think Ultron will eventually come back to the MCU. I don't think he's gone forever. But I totally see where James' head is at, man. Like, if Kang is coming to the MCU, he is such a big deal. So many great stories have to do with Kang the Conqueror. He's just an awesome villain that is able to reoccur in different moments and different versions throughout time. I think it's perfect. So I would really, if I was the MCU, if I was Kevin Feige, I would set him up as the main antagonist of the Loki Time Variance Authority story, have that play out, but then, of course, set up Iron Lad and a future bad guy version of Kang for different properties down the line. And in my head, what I'm mostly thinking about here is Secret Wars and the eventual Battle World movie that I do still believe we are getting. I think you set Kang up and bring a version of Kang into Battle World. It would make a lot of sense and really add some very interesting spice for the Marvel fans. Kang is definitely a part of several different stories within the Secret Wars versions. There's like 3 different versions of Secret Wars in the Marvel comics, at least that I can think of right now, maybe more, but at least 3. And I believe Kang has been in all of them, but I think it was the first one he did have a major role. In fact, I think Ultron kills him in one of the Secret Wars, but I could be wrong about that. I could be remember. But the bottom line here, guys, is this is very freaking exciting. I know if you're just like a casual Marvel fan, you might see us freak out about some of the new characters that are being introduced in Phase 4 and Phase 5, and you're like, I don't understand. Are all of these characters a really big deal? They're all a big deal, but I'm telling you right now, Kang is a big freaking deal. This is absolutely nuts. Like, I'm trying not to nerd out too hard about this, but like, Kang the Conqueror? Holy crap, like I just frankly can't wait to see how he's actually translated into live action. But to recap, guys, Kang the Conqueror, according to Daniel Rickman, will be in the Loki streaming service. We don't know in what capacity, but a lot of us are jumping to all sorts of conclusions. He could be the perfect antagonist for that show and be set up for Iron Lad in the Young Avengers. A lot of cool stuff coming. And people say the MCU is dying. Get out of here with that crap. And now let's shout out Sydney Wilson. Indeed, Darth Tenebrous was the master of Darth Plagueis in Star Wars Legends. So shout out to you, Sydney. And now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the first appearance of Kang in Marvel Comics? What comic book and issue number was Kang first introduced in the comics? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.